Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our lecture series on hierarchical multiple regression. So this is part 5, and this is a bonus video. So last time that you were here, I was showing you how to write a simple result for the hierarchical multiple regression analysis that we have performed. But in this age wherein we have a lot of AI tools, I also wondered if I asked ChatGPT for an example of a result section with the tables of a hierarchical multiple regression analysis similar to what we did. Can ChatGPT be a good source of information? Not necessarily for us to copy what ChatGPT provided us, but simply for ChatGPT to kind of give us some sort of an inspiration or a basis for reports that we ourselves will write. Again, I'm not encouraging you to copy and paste AI generated material onto your own reports, but what I'm saying is that we might be able to use these resources to teach us on how to write results. So let's try to do that. No, but before we do that, let's try to review what we did last time. Right, so for those of you who was watching this and you haven't seen the previous videos, I'm encouraging you to watch those previous videos. So last time, this is the result that we wrote. This is the table. So we can see here that we've combined the descriptives and the correlation coefficients. And these are the results of the hierarchical multiple regression. We simplified it into these three models. And the report is something like this. The goal of this study is to test if risk factors and protective factors in school climate collectively and uniquely predict mathematics proficiency among grade 9 and 10 Filipino students. A three-step hierarchical regression analysis was conducted to test the hypothesis. Before the actual test of hypothesis, descriptive statistics and bivariate correlations were calculated. Table 1 shows the mean and standard deviation values of the predictor and outcome variables. The correlation coefficients indicate that exposure to bullying and school safety risks negatively correlate with math proficiency. On the other hand, sense of belongingness, disciplinary climate, and teacher support positively relate to the outcome variable. Similarly, economic, social, and cultural status is also positively related to math proficiency. Furthermore, female students tend to be more proficient in mathematics compared to male students. Table 2 shows the results of the three-step hierarchical regression analysis. Results reveal that sex and ESCS collectively explain a significant variation in mathematics proficiency. Students with higher ESCS and female students tend to perform better in the mathematics test. Controlling for these demographic variables, risk factors explain an additional 16% of the variance in math proficiency. Furthermore, the three promotive factors collectively account for an additional 5% variance. Based on the final model, students who are more exposed to bullying and those who perceive more school safety risks tend to perform poorly in the PISA math proficiency assessment, whereas students who have high sense of belongingness perceive discipline among their classmates, and those who experience more teacher support are more likely to have higher math proficiency score. So this is our basis. Let's try to compare what ChatGPT will suggest. Okay, so I prepared a prompt. The thing about ChatGPT or any AI or large language models is that your prompts must be really specific. This is the prompt that I prepared. Write for me a hypothetical research results, including both tables, and then I specified what tables I need: bivariate correlations and hierarchical regression, and text, based on the following details. The study aims to test whether risk factors and protective factors collectively and uniquely predict mathematics proficiency among grade 9 and 10 Filipino students, based on the PISA 2022 database. Risk factors include bullying and school risk, while protective factors include belongingness, disciplinary climate, and teacher support. Sex and ESCS were also controlled for. To test this, a three-step hierarchical regression was conducted. Step 1 included the control variables, step 2 added the risk factors, and step 3 added the protective factors. Ensure that the tables and report follow the conventions of the APA 7th edition. So this is our relatively detailed prompt. So let's see what ChatGPT comes up with. And let's see if it's similar to what we did. Okay. So see that the tables are quite similar. Of course, these values are ChatGPT is making this up, not the values. But you'll notice, see, our style is quite similar. So mean, standard deviation, and then the rest of the variables. Okay. And then this is the table. So quite similar, even more simple than what we prepared. And then summary. All right, so let's check. So for our tables, it's quite similar. Yeah, even the formatting is correct. Okay. Although, I'm not sure, I don't think this should be boldface. I'd have to check again, but I think this shouldn't be boldface. All right, so very close. Okay, what values did ChatGPT came up with? Reasonable. All right. And then for the hierarchical table, so for each model, we included more values, the unstandardized regression coefficient, standard error, and then the standardized regression coefficient. But for ChatGPT, it even provided a more simple table, which only reports the standardized regression coefficients with the R squared and then the change in R squared. But it did not report the F ratio anymore. Okay. But personally, I think you should still report, or at the very least, identify whether these R squared change and R squared are significant by putting asterisks in them. And then let's see the report itself. So similar to what we did, it began with the descriptive statistics and bivariate correlations. What it didn't do is it didn't remind the reader what the objectives are. So I still would suggest that you do that. So it suggests means, standard deviations, and bivariate correlations for all of the variables are present in Table 1. Mathematics proficiency significantly correlated with most variables, specifically ESCS, sense of belongingness, disciplinary climate, and teacher support were positively correlated with mathematics proficiency. And not only that, it reported the coefficients. It would have been better if this is in italics and this. So the statistical notations is in italics. Conversely, bullying and school safety risk were negatively correlated with mathematics proficiency. Okay, so that's good. To examine whether risk factors and protective factors collectively and uniquely predict mathematics proficiency, a three-step hierarchical regression was conducted. So it's also similar to what we did a while ago, wherein there is a reminder for the reader about what analysis was used. In step 1, control variables explained 21.4% of the variance in mathematics proficiency. Okay, but in here, instead of the F statistic, they're reporting the actual R squared. But I think that this is redundant with this. So normally I report the F ratio instead of the measure of the variance. Both ESCS and sex were significant predictors. Okay, but it did not specify the nature of the prediction. It's significant, but is it a positive predictor? If sex is a predictor, who tends to have higher math proficiency? Okay, so that would have been more specific. In step 2, the inclusion of the risk factors, bullying risk factors, significantly improved the model, explaining additional 11.7% of the variance. And then both, so that's what they did. No? So in here, they reported the coefficients for bullying and for school safety risk in Model 2. Whereas what we did is we reported these individual contributions based on the final model already. And in step 3, the protective factors, which also kind of makes sense. I think that's also okay, especially if there's no significant change. I mean, if the results are basically the same. In step 3, protective factors added to the model accounting for an additional 16.3% of the variance. Again, it's reporting the change in R instead of the F ratio. Sense of belongingness, disciplinary climate, and teacher support were all significant predictors. The final model explained 49.4% of the variance in mathematics proficiency. So this one, I didn't have this information in the report. And then, so this is what I was saying a while ago. So it's one way to do it, and this is what ChatGPT did, is to kind of report the results as it is, and then you have a final paragraph that kind of summarizes and simplifies the results in something that can be understood by somebody who does not understand statistics very much. Although I wouldn't put a separate section or a separate label summary. This would just be simply, another paragraph. No need for this label. The results indicate that both risk and protective factors uniquely contribute to mathematics proficiency among Filipino students. While risk factors such as bullying and school safety risk negatively affect proficiency, protective factors including sense of belongingness, disciplinary climate, and teacher support serve as significant positive predictors. These findings underscore the importance of addressing both risk and protective factors in interventions aimed at improving academic outcomes. It's starting to sound like a discussion already, but up to here, I like this part. I like that ChatGPT suggested kind of a statement that ties everything together. Okay. So overall, there's something that we can learn from the suggestion of ChatGPT. And then if you want to have a different style, you can ask ChatGPT for another version. Can you show me an alternative version? Again, I'm not showing this so that you'll be lazy. I'm showing this so that you'd have other resources. If you're a beginner researcher, if you're a student and you want to have some kind of a guide or a basis on how to write a good report, then ChatGPT can be useful. Again, you're not supposed to copy paste what ChatGPT said. All right, so there are many AI detectors available. You might be flagged for that. I'm saying is that this can be a learning resource for you. All right, so this is our alternative result. Let's check the tables. The tables are pretty much the same. Okay. All right. So here, so you can check this. This is an alternative version. If you want a sample table that has more details, maybe we can ask that specifically now. Can you create table 2 with more details? Oh, okay. So here is table 2 with, I asked for more details and it provided me with more details. But still, there are no F statistics for the change in R. There's a p-value though, so at the very least, you'd know if this is significant, but there's no F ratio. All right, so in here, instead of simply the standardized regression coefficient, you have the standardized regression coefficient, the standard error for the standardized regression coefficient, p-value, and then p-value. All right, so there you go. So ChatGPT can be, and I guess other large language models can be useful also in teaching us on how to write a report for hierarchical multiple regression. And I guess ChatGPT can also help in other types of reports. But again, don't abuse this. Use this as only kind of an inspiration or a basis. Let's practice writing our own reports. So that's it. If you learned something, I'm inviting everyone to please subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video.